Hey there, future fellow weird ass black sheep. Welcome to the most offensive church this side of the universe, the Porty Pin. Yay! You can't see me, but I'm clapping for you. And what we do here in this most amazing place, we read this great ass book called God Said What? It is God's unofficial biography, Das Bible, as read by yours truly, the Saint of Awesome, your Superstone Sage, Saint Nikki K the Great. Ha ha. Clip for me and clip for you. Yeah. So, we are on book 2 of the trilogy known as God Said What? We are on the book Jesus. Who? I don't know that guy. Well, haha, have no fear because I know that guy. Haha. Yeah, and I will be your narrator along this tour slash wellness clinic. Yeah, we're going to be wheeling, dealing, healing, preaching, having good time. Yes, so come and join me. Yeah, haha. I have canvas. I have cigarettes. I do not have coffee. But I do have soda. It is a red soda and it has white letters. So if you want some red soda with white letters, go this way. I have everything. Yeah. Oh, look, we got new weed and I haven't tried it, but it smells absolutely bum diggity delicious. But I'm out of papers. So we're smoking old weed. But I suppose if I wanted to, I could go get a pre roll. But I didn't think about that. I was just smoking this old weed. So you can come smoke this old weed. It's been sitting and marinating in its own shit for like 3 days. Probably more than that. But I don't know. It's been marinating in its own shit. So it's probably really good. But we have another one that's been sitting in its own shit for a lot longer than 3 days. So we'll smoke that one. Yeah. So, everybody, keep in mind this is an offensive church. You will hear offensive things here. And just know I don't give a fuck about any of that. How you feel, what you think. I don't really care. I say I do. And most of the time I do. Except for not really. Son of a biscuit. I just I want to do this. Yeah. Okay. So let's follow our good friend Jesus on this tour. We're going to start the music. The music is starting. Yeah. We're just going to leave it at whatever volume it is because that seems to be the volume. So let's hit this one more time. And let's get to reading chapter 8. Hi, Captain. Here we go. Chapter 8. Yeah, we're still reading Jesus shit talking to her because God voice isn't working. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. And I suppose if I really wanted to, I could get God voice to work. But I'm leaving in the morning, going back to the hotel. So, like, what would be the point of hooking it all up? Just unhook it all again in the morning when I'm not gonna want to go to the hotel. But I'm not hooking it up because I don't want to unhook it because it's so much shit. And when I hook it in, I want to keep it hooked in. I don't want to keep hooking it, unhooking it, hooking it. But that's gonna wear out my fucking USB ports, and then I'll be really fucking mad. So we're just going to stick to the tour. Okay, so we are on chapter 8. Oh, yeah, my grandma had her funeral this morning, I guess, before I start. My grandma did have her funeral this morning, and she was so fucking tiny. Like, I freaked out as soon as I seen her. I was like, why? Why is she that small? Like, why? And I was freaking out because it didn't look like my grandma. And her hands felt like frog skin. It was really fucking weird. And then, because Dustin and Carmen were with me, um, they told me to quit touching her. But it's like I needed to touch her. Like I rubbed her hair. But they wouldn't let me kiss her because I had lipstick on. But it's like, but I wanted to. I wanted to kiss her, but they would not let me. Which, probably shouldn't have even wanted to do that, but I wanted to hug her or something because she looked so small. She was so tiny. And she was really tiny. Um, and it was hard to deal with. But I did eulogize my grandmother. I gave her eulogy. Me, my cousin Clarice, and my cousin David. We eulogized my grandmother. I was the first one. But that was mostly because Michael called and bothered everyone and made sure that I was the one who read his little eulogy. It was actually rather amazing that he would take the time out of his life to do that. But I don't think I did a very good job because I wanted to just read it, you know. Because my grandma's funeral is not the best place to bring out Bible Lady because my family is not a big fan of Bible Lady because Bible Lady is very, very, very rough around the edges, if you haven't noticed. So I couldn't be Bible Lady. So I just read it like Nikki, regular, you know. But then, I did say something like, a lot of you don't know me, but I love my grandma. Like, a lot of you do not know me. So, I mean, I did make it known that I know they don't know me, but I still love my grandma. And then my uncle from Zug Island was there. Well, former member of Zug Island. I saw him. I saw my other uncle, who was a very big real estate guy, and my oldest son's stepmom. So, well, okay, she is his mother. I'm like his stepmother because I don't really know him. You know, I don't really know him. So anyway, she showed up because she's the one that paid for the gas and the money to get me there. Uh, to my grandma's funeral. It's like, thank God, she came through on a clutch, man, just like that. And it was absolutely fucking amazing because I don't, never heard of like a mom and the egg donor like being tight like that, but she's tight like that, man. We're planning a vacation. Like, she got me a card. She was at my grandmother's funeral for me. And it was amazing because, um, um, anyway, she was there for me and it was amazing. And, like, I'm so lucky that that was the woman who raised my son, you know? Because at least he's got a good head on his shoulders, and it's because of that woman. And it's not because of me, and I have to be grateful for that. And I am grateful for that because she could have been a total bitch about it. You know, even though like we went to school together, and I don't know how she ended up married to the dude that I had a quick romance with and ended up pregnant. I don't know how her and I, never really hanging out in school or whatever, how he met her and how she raised my son. But she's known me this whole time, and she would always tell that little boy about me. You know, I was the other mother, and I'm okay with that. You know, what right do I have to say some shit? I don't have any right to say some shit. Anyway, all that to be said, like she showed up and showed out for me. And it's like every single moment of my life, I just want to say this. Every single moment of my life, you can see God in it. Even if you don't believe in God, like if you look at my life and how many dangerous situations I've been in, and how many times people have just found me. Like, and how this last time somebody just found me, I was literally dead. Like, and this whole video thing, like, you can see God's handprints all over this because anytime that it comes to me losing my channel or losing my ability to live stream or my internet going out, things like that. Like, it's just like a miracles or something. Like, it just happens. Like, did you know this one time I was in a quit because I couldn't afford to do this anymore? I still can't afford to do this. But like, I really couldn't afford to do this. Did you know the next day I woke up with a $34 deposit from a Facebook lawsuit? How fucking insane is that? And a lot of people that have watched me since the beginning were even surprised by that. Because I seriously thinking about quitting. And like, I've been thinking about quitting reading Jesus shit talking tour because it hurts my feel bads and it gets really aggravating. This story does. Jesus shit talking tour. But then all of a sudden it became funny again. Because after a while, and like reading this so many times, this shit's not fucking funny, man. But for some reason, I'm just finding it like Jesus is absolutely out of control. Like, he gives no shits about a fucking thing. And okay. So, anyway, I've been like so many times wanting to stop doing this. And it's just every time something happens and I'm able to continue. Or like when I run out of animal food, somebody always donates because I love these animals so much. I have so many cats and I have a lot of raccoons that I feed. Um, like, I don't know how anybody can look at me and not see God. Like, I am a walking nightmare and also a walking miracle. But mostly I'm a walking nightmare and my life is terrible sometimes. But God makes it worth living because, well, I don't take anything that serious anyway because I have a problem being serious. Real problem that I have, yes. But some of these things, it's like you have to be serious because you got to be like, oh my God, like God really did just do that. How crazy is that? Or at least that's what I do because I live my life. So maybe it's only something I can see because I'm living it. But then I've heard other people point it out to me also that it's like, yeah, God might have something to do with that. Because, yeah, God might have something to do with this thing, I'm telling you. Even though I run an offensive church, I I think, like it says in what is it, Numbers? Read the Bible in the way that people understand. And a lot of people don't understand me, but there are some people that do. And it's because they speak your language. I don't need to talk to those other motherfuckers. Are you kidding me? I only want to talk to you anyway. I don't want perfect sheep. You get rid of the perfect sheep. I want the weird ass sheep. You can keep your perfect ass bullshit somewhere else because whatever life thing you have going on that's perfect, if you look a little deeper, I bet you there's something fucked up that they're hiding. Absolutely. Because being perfect is hazardous. Being perfect gets you sacrifice. Just saying. But now that I'm done with that 22-minute soliloquy, time to get to chapter 8. Yeah. Okay. Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. Now, early in the morning, he came again into the temple. Now, remember, he goes into the temples on Sabbaths because that's his routine. Just walk until Sabbath and he finds a temple. Then he goes into the temple and preaches. And all the people came to him, and he sat down and taught them. Then the scribes and Pharisees. Okay, these dickheads. Okay, so they bring this woman in, right? And they call her an adulterer. But I'm willing to bet she told one of those motherfuckers no. So then she's an adulterer because reasons. Anyway, Jesus is playing tic-tac-toe with himself on the ground. Okay? And these terrible ass people bring this woman to Jesus, and he just continues drawing on the ground because he don't give a shit about whatever they're fucking talking about. And they're like, what do they call it? Yeah, they said, teacher, this woman was caught, she was caught in adultery in the very act. Now, Moses in the law commanded us that such a woman should be stoned. Hey, you like being stoned? But what do you say? And they were testing him. So, they were catching him up in word magic. So Jesus, having God level word magic, continues drawing on the ground. And he's like, you motherfuckers. Are all of you sin free? Well, then you kill her. What the fuck do I care? I don't care about this. And then they all threw down their stones and walked away. And Jesus is still drawn on the ground playing tic-tac-toe with himself. And he looked up. And he was like, where'd everybody go? And she was like, they all got pissed off and left. And Jesus was like, well, don't sin anymore. Now, go on. I want to play tic-tac-toe. You're fucking me up, man. Right? Totally tripping balls. Like tripping McNuggets for sure. Then Jesus spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the word. He, or light of the world, he who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Yeah. Okay, no, no, he didn't. If they are looking for reasons to accuse him, this is a reason to accuse him. But when he goes to court, they have false witnesses. But they all witnessed him saying this shit. But this wasn't on his court documents. This was written to justify them murdering Jesus. And everybody is so like caught up in the laws of the time and why they said this and why they said that. But nobody's going to read the fucking book and be like, oh, yeah, this is totally, yeah, this is a no thing. And if they really wanted to accuse Jesus of something, if Jesus said this, they wouldn't have needed a false witness. Everybody's so worried about the fucking law and want the history and to know the history and this and that. But don't read the book. And they don't look at the book. What does the book say that contradicts the law? That lets you know Jesus did not say this shit. This was a cover your ass letter to justify murdering Jesus. The disciples were only disciples, and Jesus chose them. But they are humans and afraid of everything. Why wouldn't they justify killing Jesus if it would keep them out of trouble? So they can put it in here. Like, look, he really did say these things. So we really didn't murder him. We were obeying the law. Do you see all these mean things Jesus said? All of them. All these mean things that contradict everything. Yeah, this is why we killed him. Because he said these no words. He hurt our vaginas. Why? Why? Everybody, not everybody. There are some people that stake their whole whatever on the law of the time. But they don't put the law with the words of Jesus because they don't want to believe these disciples are actually humans. These apostles are actually humans and afraid of everything. Why wouldn't they write these things that justify the murder of their friend? Because they're fucking scared. Just like interrogations, friends will turn on friends quick as shit to keep themselves out of prison. Even though prison is what you make it. I don't know. Just don't be a fucking terrible person. Terrible things won't happen to you. And that's only a me thing. Only I think that. Okay. And the Pharisees therefore said to him, you bear witness of yourself. Your witness is not true. And Jesus said, what Jesus say? Even if I bear witness of myself, my witness is true. For I know where I came from and where I am going. But you do not know where I came from or where I am going. You judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. And yet, if I do judge, my judgment is true. For I am not alone, but I am with the Father who sent me. It is so written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. I am one who bears witness of myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness of me. Go sit down, old man. Hi, Blue. Go sit down, old man. You're talking in circles. Poor Jesus. He talks in so many circles for real. It's like, poor Jesus. Oh, yeah. So, and then they said to him, "Where's your father?" And Jesus said, "You don't know me. You don't know my daddy either. You don't even know. You don't know no one. You don't know." Okay? Because if you had known me, you would also know my father. But you don't. Because you don't read Das Biblia. These words Jesus spoke in the treasury as he taught in the temple, and no one laid hands on him, for his hour had not yet come. Or he didn't say that. Like, it could be that he didn't say that because they would have laid their hands on him, especially calling God his dad, because they talk about that also. How they were going to, but Jesus gave them the slipperoonie. Then Jesus said to them, "I am going away, and you will seek me, and you will die in your sin. Where I go, you cannot come." And this is where he's talking about the back of the line. The back of the line is where the real terrible fucking people go. And God never gets to the back of the line. God and Jesus party at the front of the line. And you ride the Tonga line all the way into heaven. To Tonga, conga line. It's some kind of fucking line thing where you're like dun 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 dun, right? And then you do the thing under the pole, whatever. I don't fucking know what's happening. Anyway, God and Jesus are right there. And Jesus is talking about right here. You're going to the door of hell and you're never getting in. Okay. I don't know if really Jesus says that or not, but in my mind, the first will be last and the last will be first. Who thinks they're first? These terrible ass God people do. That's why they will never get into heaven. They go to back of line. And God never gets to back of line. Because good people die. And all the bad people just pile up in the back of the line. The line circles around the building twice. And then these terrible people say, he's going to delete himself from his own God or from his own dad's YouTube. What does he mean? And then Jesus said, where I go, you cannot come. And then he was like, you are from beneath. I am from above. You are of this world, and I am not. Therefore, I said to you, you will die in your bullshit. If you do not believe I am He, you will die in your sins. And then they said, the fuck is you? Who? Who the fuck is you? Jesus like, I'm your daddy, bitch. And then smacked the fuck out of him. He smacked the Jew right out of him. I don't know. He could have smacked the Jew right out of him. Okay. Oh yeah, and they was like, who is you? And Jesus said, just what I've been saying to you from the beginning. I have many things to say and judge concerning you. But he who sent me is true, and I speak to the world those things which I heard from him. And they did not understand that he spoke to them of the Father. And then Jesus was like, when you lift up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am He, and that I do nothing for myself, but as my Father taught me, I speak these things, and He who sent me is with me. The Father has not left me alone, for I always do those things that please Him. And as he spoke these words, many believed in him. Sit down, old man. You're talking in circles again. Then Jesus said to those terrible ass people who believed in him, if you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Hi, Curtis. Welcome. It's so good to see you. Okay. Anyway, he said, the truth will make you free. And they said, but we're Abe's descendants, and we have never been in bondage to anyone. You lie. How can you say we will be made free? These fucking people. Really? These people know so much about sin, and they read that Bible. They should know that they are slaves to sin. Everybody is a slave to sin. It's whether you can suppress your natural self. If you can do the right thing, the hard thing is what matters. Because doing the easy thing is always wrong. Always wrong. Then Jesus said, listen, I'm telling you, whoever commits a sin is a slave, and a slave does not abide in the house forever, but a son abides forever. Therefore, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed. I guess it would depend on how abusive the dad is, because the son might not be able to do shit. Just throwing that out there. Pick it up off the backboard for a slam dunk. Yeah, that's fucking 2 points. And 1 bitch wood. Yeah, free throw, having it. I don't know what's happening. Things are happening. Okay. I know that you're Abe's descendants, but you seek to kill me because my word has no place in you. I speak what I have seen with my father, and you do what you have seen with your father. What are you guys doing? Come here. What are you doing? Come here. Come on. Are you gonna be nice? Yeah, I told you don't worry. Come on, get up here. Come on. You be a good boy. You're a very, very good boy. Sorry, the raccoons were fighting. The raccoons were being very naughty. Okay. See with your father. But they said, Abe is our father. And Jesus like, if you were Abe's children, you would do the works of Abe. But now you seek to kill me, a man who has told you the truth, which I have heard from God. Abe did not do this. You do the deeds of your father. You Satan worshiping assholes. You worship the devil. The devil. Okay. And then these terrible ass people said, now we know you have a demon. Abe is dead. And the prophets. And you say, if anyone keeps my words, he shall never. Oh. Damn, where the fuck am I? If you come to seek to kill me, which I heard from God. Abe did not do this, but you do the deeds of your father. And then they said, we were not born of fornication. I bet you were. And I bet you your parents got married right after they did the dirty shovel water. We have one father, God. Bullshit. And Jesus said, if God were your father, you would have known me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. Nor have I come of myself, but you sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Because you are not able to listen. You are of your father, the devil, and the desires of your father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources. He is a liar, the father of it. But because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. Which of you convicts me of sin? And if I tell the truth, why do you not believe me? He who is of God hears God's words. Therefore, you do not hear because you are not of God. Dun, dun, dun. That's some crazy shit, yo. Then Dacian answered him, did we not say rightly, you are Samaritan and have a demon? How could it be a Samaritan? He's from Galilee. These people are idiots. And Jesus was like, what? No, shut up. I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. And I do not seek my own glory. There is one who seeks and judges. Listen, I'm telling you, if anyone keeps my word, he shall never see death. I think what he means here is hell. You will never see hell. Or you will never see back of line. That could be what it is. You never see back of line. Then these terrible ass people said, now we know you have a demon. Abel's dead, prophets are dead, and you say no one who believes in you will die. Shut up. Are you greater than Abe, who is dead, and the prophets who are dead? Who do you think you are? I think I've got this dick in your mouth, bitch. That's what the fuck I think. That's not what Jesus said. That's what Nikki said. And Jesus said, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father who honors me, of whom you say he is your God. Yet you have not known him, but I know him. And if I say I do not know him, I would be a liar like you. But I do know him and keep his word. Your father Abe rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and he was glad. Then these terrible people said, you are not even 50. How have you seen Abe? And Jesus said, listen, I'm telling you, before Abe was, I am. If he would have said this, they would have killed him right then. I am is a God thing. They would have killed him immediately. And it says they're going to try to. But it doesn't work because Jesus put a plus one. But no, they wouldn't have even, nope. They would have just killed them. And they would have said, blasphemy, and they would have been right. But, then they took up stones to throw at him. But Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. Yeah, I don't know that. Honestly, I think. I don't think he said that. And again, like I said, I think this is one of those cover your ass things, like justify. This is one of the books that justify is killing. Because it's like he said all these things, all these terrible things, but yet they had to make a false witness. If Jesus said this stuff, they wouldn't have needed a false witness because these Pharisees would have heard it with their own ears and they would have came and been a witness against Jesus. Because it was Passover, they were all there. I don't know. Just in my personal opinion, I don't think. Only because they gave false witnesses. But if the Pharisees and the Sadducees would have heard this stuff, they would have been witnesses. And with them saying it, it would have definitely, for real, justifiably persecuted Jesus. Because he did say these things that was definitely really blasphemous. So if Jesus really said these things, his murder would have been justified. But they used false witnesses and his murder was not justified. But all of these letters in here are justifications. It's Jesus literally calling himself God. He's like, before there was, I am. Like, that is a death sentence. Especially when you say it like that. I don't know. I wish some of these people that knew the history of back then, because they want to pay so much fucking attention to it. Read the story, not verse by verse, chapter by chapter, in your knowledge of the law. Show me where these are not justifications. Even though they did not go to his trial and testify. But supposedly he said this shit. It don't make no fucking sense to me. And I believe Jesus. And, you know, I read Jesus' words and I'm reading Jesus' words. And a lot of these lessons are worth knowing. Okay? But a lot of this shit talking back and forth between him and these terrible ass people, they could have used all this as testimony, witness statements. But they didn't. Why? Because he didn't say that. I don't know. But that's just my personal opinion, but we are at an hour. So I want to tell y'all thank you for watching. I love you. And it's time to give the pillars some head, the sheep some ass, and have the sweetest dreams ever. Love you so much. Good night.